Hello students, how are you all? Hope you are fine. So today we are going to begin with the next topic, Unit 4, 4.5, Tansin. Now this is a poem written by Hazrat Inayat Khan. Now according to this poet, the music is to soul what the natural food is to health. Now just kindly remove your textbook, page number 106. Now, we all are well aware of this great personality, Tansin. So, the Hazrat uh, Khan he has highlighted that the poem Tansin uh, he he speaks about the relationship between the student and the teacher to the medium of learning music. Tansin, the royal singer, is praised by King Akbar, who wants to meet the Tansin's guru. And this poem is really, you can call it a narrative also poem, which tells us about an incident that happened in Emperor's court. Once Akbar was so fascinated by Tansin's performance that he wished to meet his guru and hear him sing. So both of them set out for the caves in the Himalayas where Ustad, the teacher, lived and are left enchanted by his song. The poem also reveals the secret of Ustad's magical singing, which is his devotion to God. The magical musician was one of the Navaratna's nine gems in the court of Mughal Emperor Akbar. Akbar forgot where he was and was transported into the realms of sheer beauty, charm, and bliss. And the climax of this narrative is beautiful as Tansin explains why he cannot replicate the performance of Ustad and he sings for King Akbar, but Ustad sings for God. So let us move ahead with the poem. Tansin the singer in great Akbar's court won great renown through the Badshahi fought. His voice rang like the sounds of the silver bells, and the Akbar ravish heard. The story tells how the king praised him, gave him many a gem, called him chief jewel in his diadem. One day the singer sang the song of fire, the Deepak Raga, the burning like a pyre. The body burst into consuming flame. To cure his burning heart, a maiden came and sang Malhar, a song of water cold, till health returned and comfort as of old. Mighty thy teacher must be, the divine great Akbar said. Magic indeed is thine. Learned at his feet, then happy Tansin bowed and said, beyond the world's ignoble crowd. Now the diadem means a royal crown, and ignoble means not worthy, and the maiden means the unmarried woman, and the ustad is the variant of ustad being used as a master or the teacher. So here you can call it that uh, the poet also was a Sufi musician and who was introduced the Sufi music in the West, and the Nizam of the Hyderabad honored him as a Tansin of his time, and he spread the Sufi music worldwide. Now, in these lines, the uh, poet has completely written this poem in 23 rhyming couplets. Because whenever we say the couplets means the lines. There are two lines. Usually we have what? Usually we have stanzas, but these are what couplets are there, and there how many couplets are there? There are 23 rhyming couplets. And the poem here talks about the Tansin, who was one of the nine jewels in the emperor's court. His great singer earned fame in the court of the Mughals, and his enchanting voice captivated the heart of the Akbar. Thus he gave him the sufficient wealth and even referred to him as a jewel of the crown. Once he sang the Raga, and with his passionate rendition of the raga, he started burning up. At the moment, a young unmarried woman came to cure his burning heart, and she sang the raga Malhar to provide him the comfort of cold water. Akbar thereafter praised his talent and desired to meet his teacher. Tansen told the emperor that the teacher lived in Himalayan cave away from the unworthy people of the world. Now, in these lines, we are being introduced to Deepak Raga. Deepak Raga is an old raga associated with the legend of the Tansin, which is said to have the ability to light lamps when sung. And the Malhar Raga is also one of the forms of the old raga, which is said to be capable of inducing heavy rains. And one more raga is there in the next few lines, that is the Malkas Raga, one of the oldest raga, which is serious and has the meditative qualities. Calling its wealth, remote and far away he dwells within a cave of Himalaya. Could I but see him once, desired the king, sit at his feet awhile and listening, hear his celestial song, I would deny my state and walk in robes of poverty. Then said Tansin, as you desire, Huzur, indeed, dwell better as a slave and poor to come, for he lifted above the things of earth, descend to sing to earthly kings. Long was the road, and the Akbar was as a slave, followed Tansin, who rode towards the cave. High in the mountains, at the singer's feet, they knelt and prayed with the with supplication sweet. So here in this paragraph, we see that these rhyming couplets, we see that the Tansin was eager to hear and Akbar was eager to hear, and the Tansin's teacher saying that he dressed himself as a poor slave and followed Tansin on a journey to Himalayas. And so, after traveling through the long roads, they both reached the cave and paid homage to the master, and they won the heart of the master with their humility. Here also, the Akbar, how he dressed himself, he just dressed himself like as a poor slave, and then he followed dancing because he was very excited, and he was very eager to meet who he was eager to meet the guru of dancing. Towards thy shrine lo we have journeyed long, o holy master, bless us with thy song. Then Ustad, won by the humility, sang songs of peace and high felicity, the Malkhas Raga, all ascetic rang, till birds and beasts, enchanted at his hang, gathered to hear over the Akbar's dreaming soul. He felt the waves of the heavenly rapture roll, but as he turned to speak his words of praise, Ustad had vanished from the wondering gaze. Tell me, Tansin, what dream this is that holds the soul enchanted and the heart unfolds in high delight. And when he knew the name, tell me again, he said, could you the same theme sing to lure my heart to path untrod? Ah, no, to thee I sing, he sings to God. Hazrat Inayat Khan. So, in these rhyming couplets, they won the heart of the master with the humility and requested him to bless them with his melodious voice. He then sang the Malkhas Raga, which captivated all the birds and animals. It also filled the heart of the Akbar with bliss and joy and left him in a state of trance. Finally, when Akbar turned to praise his singing, the master had already disappeared. Akbar immediately asked Tansen the reason behind his disappearance and if he could produce the same effect with his singing. Tansen replied in negation. He said that he could not produce the same effect as he sang to the emperor, a mortal being. whereas the teacher sang to the god. So here was the basic difference. Now in this poem, you have got the introduction of that is the Deepak Raga, Malhar Raga, and the Malkas Raga, and here you have certain words that are also archaic words, and whenever it is said that mighty thy teacher must be and divine. Now, when these lines were said, it was said so that when he wanted to know more about the Tansin's teacher, from he from whom he had learned to sing so brilliantly. And the archaic words are it were, it were is the archaic word, and then the datum means it is the archaic words. The modern word is known as crown, maiden, archaic word, modern name is unmarried woman, thy, archaic word, modern name is your, and thine, the archaic words, and the modern name is yours. Now here in this poem, as I said, the couplet, every line will become a rhyming couplet. So couplet is a pair of a line in a poetry that has the same meter and same rhyme. For example, you can see long song. I repeat, this is the rhyming couplets. So a couplet is a pair of lines in a poetry that has same meter and same rhyme. Meter and rhyme, that is single line. So long song, humility, felicity, rang, sang. So the rhyming words are at the end of these two are same. So it is said it is a couplet. And in this also you have your language study, that is there is the figures of the speech you have, and the figures of the speech, um, usually it is the alliteration, learned at his feet, then happy Tansin board. My state and walks in the robes of the poverty. Here it is antithesis, because robes of poverty is the example of antithesis, as robes which means long outer garment worn by kings and emperors, and it is placed with the word poverty to show the contrast between the two different words and their meanings. So robe and poverty, two opposites are there or two contrasts are there, so it is antithesis. Now learnt at the feet, then happy Tansin board, it is alliteration is there, and you have the exaggerated statement also you have, gathered to hear over Akbar's dreaming soul. Here, gathered to hear over Akbar's dreaming soul is exaggeration. Uh, he feels waves of heavenly rapture roll. Now, what is exaggeration? Because in these lines, the expression "the waves of heavenly rapture roll" is, is dramatically used to show the highness of the scene. In the normal sense, Akbar was immensely impressed by the singing of Tansen's master, which the poet has overstated in this line. So it is exaggeration. And then coming to the one more figures of speech, Ustad has vanished from the wondering gaze. So uh, here it is transfer epithet. The adjective wondering has been transferred from Akbar to gaze. So I hope that you all have understood this rhyming couplets. And the rhyme scheme, if you speak about the rhyme scheme of the poem is composition of 23 rhyming couplets, and each couplet has a rhyme scheme of AA. Each couplet has a rhyme scheme of AA. So I hope you all have understood the poem, the rhyming couplets very well. Thank you, children. And and if you like my educational video, kindly like it and subscribe it. Thank you once again, and God bless you all.